Hi everyone, welcome back to my home. I'm Athena Silver, the professional psychic medium, intuitive healer, and Pagan Minister. Today I want to talk a little bit about my story and who I am. I realized today that I have never done a video about me and about, what I do, where I came from, why I do. I never really formally introduced myself, so let me start. My name is Athena Silver. I am a hereditary witch and seer. I was born with these gifts. It's something that runs deeply in my family. I have a lot of seers, dreamers, psychics, diviners. There's a lot of herbal and flower knowledge in my family. My mother's side of the family they're from Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. So I'm a mix of Taino, which is the Native Americans from the Caribbean area, and a mix of the Africans that came over and the European Spanish that came over. So I'm quite the mix on that side. I tell people that if you want to know who I am, you got to read a history book about what happened to the Caribbean, and it explains a lot. My father is also like Viking, Danish, and German from the European side. Unfortunately, I was not raised with my father's family. I was primarily raised with my mother's family. I didn't have the privilege to meet my father's family until I met my grandmother when I was about 17. So, we're good now, but, she lives on the other side of the United States. So unfortunately, I don't get to see her very often. So, luckily there's the phone. But unfortunately, I was not raised in their European traditions. So I do draw some of my psychic seership from that side of the family. They were seers from Denmark. So they were known as Seithkonas, and like the wise women of like the Norse and Old Norse practice. So I do work with quite a few of the spirits on that side, because they have brought themselves to me and introduced themselves through some of my ancestral healing work. When I went and I was training and doing my side of it, I learned quite a bit. But unfortunately, I don't really feel drawn to that side as much as I do to my mother's lineage, because I grew up, spending a lot of time pretty much living with my grandmother and my great-grandmother that hail from the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. So I grew up with them. I learned really a lot of elements of shamanism from my great-grandmother. She never really presented it that way growing up. And she did not teach everybody in the family. I was young, and I was probably about 6 or 7. And she started talking to me about dreams and spirits one day, and I started to open up to her that I was seeing all these shadows, and they were a bit frightening, and I didn't know what to make of it. And she sat me down and she talked to me about the spirits and told me what was happening, and that what I was seeing was not unusual, that, that we carry a gift in my family, and it's something that has been driven underground for a very long time. And so she started to teach me different kitchen magic with the spices, and how to put love into your food, and how to do a little bit of root work and conjure, and some candle work. She also taught me how to read cards through the regular playing cards, which kicked off my love of tarot. I came to love tarot in middle school, because I was at a friend's house, and her mom had a tarot deck, and I picked it up, and I noticed that there were so many parallels to the playing card fortune that my great-grandmother taught me. So it was very easy, and I just picked it up, and it was, love at first sight. So now it's, it's what I do, and it's, the way that I connect with the spirit world and connect people to the spirit world and do healing work and understand people in their trauma and help them heal is all through the work of the spirits and their language of the tarot. So I feel very blessed to have been able to walk that path for my life, my whole life, you know. When I was young, I didn't really have a good relationship with either one of my parents. I felt very misunderstood as a child. They were very hard on me. I think it's because they didn't know how to connect with me because I was very different from them. It made me very angry for a very long time. It made me feel like there was something wrong with me, like I didn't fit in. Made me think I was adopted or I was hoping, fingers crossed. But I realize now through doing the ancestral healing work that, you know, I was the odd man out here, you know, because I was a child standing between both this world and the world beyond, that there's certain issues that come up in trying to raise a child like that, you know. I get it now as I'm raising two of my own gifted children. It's not easy, you know, especially because children that have these gifts, they see the world very differently because they're seeing two layers. They're seeing the layer behind the veil and the layer in front of the veil. And it's hard for them to fit in a society that's in front of the veil because there's so many people that don't see the beauty that's on the other side, you know. And it tends to be hard for people who don't do this kind of work to understand themselves and other people. So being deeply empathic and having parents that don't know what to do, it was kind of a rough situation. Luckily, I had the two abuelita old ladies to pick me up and to love me, both of which who have passed on to the spirit world. Although I talk to them all the time. They come now and they start judging me and telling me what I should be doing and that I'm not doing. I get called lackadaisical. I get told, you know, you need to tend to my altar better. You know, they keep me in line. But I feel blessed to have been raised in the traditions that I have been. There's also quite a bit of work that I've done on my own accord in my own spiritual journey. I found Tibetan Nepalese Buddhism in high school and fell in love with it. It just, the active meditation and the art of it, the art of prayer and mantra, it spoke to me and it made a lasting impression, you know. And as I've gotten older, I've really gone back to find that my deep shamanic practice roots, you know, the lineage of the Old Norse shamans and the shamans of the Taino people in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. I feel once I found shamanism, that really opened me up in a whole nother level, like in a whole nother way. I started to see the interconnections deeper, and I could see my ability started to grow, and I felt like I was at home. Like I started to understand myself in a much deeper way, and understanding other people and our where we stand in the universe and why we're here and what our purpose is, you know. Shamanism was really Peruvian shamanism in particular, you know. I am not an initiate. I'm getting to that point. I'm just trying to find the right teacher. But I have done a lot of research and some practice as well. And I've worked with a few different teachers. So I'm not just going it alone. Like I do have some resources, but you know, I'm just looking for the right teacher for one-on-one apprenticeship and initiation. So fingers crossed that they find their way to me soon. But in the meantime, you know, it's hard being the keeper of a lineage that is no longer here. I'm the last practitioner of my lineage, my family lineage. It was not shared with many people in my family. The knowledge was given to me from my great-grandmother, who had gotten it from her mother. and so on and so forth. But I'm trying to open it up, develop it into something new, something that's contemporary, something that I can pass on to my children and hopefully help other people. It's very much a fusion of, it's a melting pot between all different races, all different lineages. You know, it is meant and made to be practiced by multiracial people because it was put together by multiracial people. You know, it has African elements, it has European witchcraft elements, it has shamanistic elements, it has so many different elements to it. There's even a little bit of, you know, Buddhist and curanderismo in there. You know, it's really shaping itself, and it's been shaping itself over many generations. You know, I just feel lucky to be the keeper of this knowledge now, you know, in this incarnation of it, you know, and I can't wait to develop it and pass it forward to my children. So, you know, I feel like for me, my mission in life is to learn and to be witness to what the world has to show and what the universe is about, you know, and to help people connect with themselves and the earth and the spirits and everything that is there that they can't see. You know, I try to dedicate myself and my whole life to healing and learning, you know. So that's me. That's a little bit about me. It's not everything, but you know, I might do another video too, sharing a little bit more about my life, just so you guys get to know me and figure out, you know, who you're dealing with. If you have any questions, feel free to message me or leave a comment. You know, I hope you guys follow and subscribe so you can see the videos and the content that I'm putting out there. I do readings if anybody's interested. I'm doing readings over the phone as we're sheltering in place. If you want to check out my website and learn a little bit more, it's www.readingswithathenasilver.com. I also want to let you guys know I'm going to be doing a special video tomorrow to honor and celebrate the sacred ally plant of Mother Cannabis, who's been my biggest plant ally that I've worked with in my life. And I've been asked by the plant herself to do a special ceremony and share it with you guys. So check back on my Instagram tomorrow and see what's happening, you know. I look forward to spending an awesome 420 with all of you. All right, well, you guys have a great day. I wish you much love and positivity and happiness in your life. You know, the choices you make the person you are. So keep that in mind as you go forth. All right, have a good day. Bye.